right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Frigid stretch, why our coldest day is still to come, and we're already tracking another chance of measurable snow.
On the road again, hours after a winter storm.
Starting to turn the corner.
Tonight, the continuing efforts to get the roads cleared by the time you head out the door tomorrow.
Highways are better, yeah. Small roads are still bad.
He thought a good Samaritan was helping him dig out his car.
It did not cross my mind at all that, he was about to pull out a gun.
Tonight, the search for the cold crook in a crime of opportunity. First tonight, the snow has stopped piling up. However, the work to clear the roads has not. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson has the night off. Several inches of snow have fallen. Now a big chill is setting in, meaning we'll have to wait a while for a big melt. We have live team coverage of the lingering impacts of the biggest winter storm to hit the bi-state in 4 years. Let's start with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell, who says we're going to have to wait a while before there's a warm-up.
Yeah, the warm-up's not going to come until later this week and into the weekend when temperatures will go above freezing. But in the meantime, we've made progress on the roads. A lot of chemicals put down for sure, and that has allowed at least the road crews to keep moving things along. So 70 out in St. Charles, 55 down in Arnold, looking good. But again, a lot of side roads are pretty slick here, and we're not seeing a lot of melting. You had upwards of a foot or more of snow here in spots of St. Charles County up into parts of Lincoln, Pike County, as well as we think across parts of Calhoun County. And then it was the ice down south, upwards of 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch of ice. These are some of the pictures Matt Phillips shared with us from Reynolds and Iron County in that area. And that's where we still have power outages. Their problem. This has been a problem now since the ice started bringing those trees down yesterday. And now we're seeing some progress being made, but we still have 1,600 customers without power in Reynolds County. Southern St. Francis County, about 2,200 customers without power. The crews are working, and they're still making progress tonight. Every 15, 20 minutes, we see a bit of an update. Clouds are keeping us still in the 20s in St. Louis. Areas just to our west, though, colder. Columbia's 8, Lake of the Ozarks at 6 right now. We're not going to see the sky clear out tonight, so that means at least we'll stay in the teens in St. Louis, but the cold continues all week. We will watch for any refreeze, anything that had a chance to melt. Even if it was treated, it could get diluted and that treatment doesn't become effective. And yes, there is another snow chance on Friday. Doesn't look like a big deal for us. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes, Mike.
Right now, crews on both sides of the river are still working to clear the roads of all that snow and sleet. We have been monitoring conditions across the bi-state, and it is still treacherous in some places. Right now, the area of 70 and 270 in Bridgeton looks pretty clear. Let's take a look at I-64 near Chesterfield Parkway. Still a lot of snow on the highway with big snow drifts on the side of the road. And this is how it looked earlier. The biggest issue is these large piles of snow on the exit and entrance ramps caused by the plows. In fact, we found several cars stranded in similar situations throughout the day. 5 on your side's Laura Marcheski is in the Weather Impact Storm Tracker with an update from officials and drivers out there. Laura.
Hey, Mike, we are on I-44 westbound headed toward Fenton, and we're almost there. We actually are alongside an accident. I'm going to turn the camera around here. We had a semi-truck and some other vehicles that were slid out. The conditions are still rough here on 44 heading into Fenton, and we've seen a lot of the sliding out still, even hours after the storm had passed. But the road conditions between Illinois and Missouri are vastly different depending on where you are, making it very important to continue to take it slow if you have to get out there even tomorrow morning.
By around 3 o'clock on Monday, many of the Metro East highways and main streets were mostly clear. Joe Monroe with the Illinois Department of Transportation says outside temperatures played a big part in successful road treatment.
We've been for between 28 and 25. That's right in the sweet spot. It's when you get below 20 or you have obscene winds that salt doesn't work as well.
One Illinois driver says the side roads in his area were impossible to get through in his car.
I got stuck 4 times today.
Oh my gosh, you got stuck 4 times today?
That's why I'm at your gas station.
Okay. What'd you do, dig out? Did you have help?
Right, there go my shovel right there. See my shovel right there? I had my little shovel with me, and I'm thankful that I had it.
Another driver, Dave Mothershead, says he took it slow and was thankful for his truck and four-wheel drive this morning, but the commute home was an improvement.
Now that we've hit Route 3 here, everything seems to be clear and much better than it was just a few hours earlier today, so the roads seem to be improving.
About an hour or so later, we crossed the river back into Missouri, where highways in St. Louis City were in pretty good shape, but in St. Louis County, it was a different story. It got down to one clear lane on 44.
It's still bad. Most of the roads are so bad.
The Missouri State Highway Patrol says the speed limit is still not a safe speed right now. They had a lot of people slide out and even get stuck.
MoDOT did a good job, I think, plowing the snow off the driving lanes, but then it pushes it all to the shoulders of the roadway and into the on-ramps and exit ramps of other highways. So people are trying to get on or off the highway and getting into that deeper snow and becoming stuck.
It took hours for Samim Bakshi to just leave his home.
They're clearing and they're, doing the salt work, but hopefully it gets better by tomorrow.
The Highway Patrol is still urging people to be cautious and limit travel. There could be ice underneath the snow and spots can refreeze, which is some of what we're seeing right now on 44 as we pass the Bowles exit. We've seen a lot of that salt getting kicked back up on the windshield, and we are down to one lane here. The left lane is entirely blocked by snow, and this semi in front of us is going pretty slow, as you should be doing that right now. And looking into tomorrow, make sure you continue to take it slow and don't crowd any of those plows or other utility vehicles that you might see out there trying to get a hold of this snow and ice all over the roadways. Reporting live in the Storm Tracker, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
St. Charles County saw some of the highest snow totals. People there are digging out of anywhere from 8.5 inches to more than a foot of snow. The St. Charles County Ambulance District says the call volume has been manageable, attributing that to people heeding advice to stay home and off the roads. Right now, we have more than 600 school and business closures reported into our newsroom. This includes many of the area's largest school districts. St. Louis Public Schools will resume classes tomorrow virtually. The full list of closings is running at the bottom of your screen. And you can also text the word closings to 314-425-5355 and we'll send it to your phone. With the snow and sleet, hundreds of flights were delayed or canceled today and yesterday at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. And new tonight, our Annie Krall is live inside the terminal with a behind-the-scenes look at the operations to get things back up and running. Annie.
Mike, making things run smoothly isn't easy, especially considering Lambert officials told me that it takes up to 100 employees to have things go slick and smooth when you have so much down temperatures. It's so cold outside, and of course, we're seeing so much severe winter weather.
Every traveler has a reason to fly. And it's the job of St. Louis Lambert International Airport's director to make sure that even in the aftermath of a snowstorm, canceling more than 200 flights Monday, they can.
As the de-icing holdover time is limited. So if they de-ice an airplane and it has to sit there because it can't get to a taxiway, to a runway, many times they would have to re-de-ice that airplane. So it's cost effective to try to be as communicative as possible.
And it takes a team of airfield maintenance, facilities, utilities, electricians, auto shop equipment maintenance, and of course the all-important operations team to get planes off the ground. Lots of snow on the tarmac doesn't help.
Large snow melters are fairly large vehicles that have heaters inside of them. So you have the dump trucks that dump the snow into them, and then obviously it comes out water on the backside. So you have to be able to make sure that it's near drains because you don't want that water just flowing out like a lake and freezing over.
A massive task, especially as international flights come in, like students starting their spring semester at SLU. Weather conditions cutting down the welcome for those students from 10 to 2.
So we are from different country. We don't know anything or anyone here. But seeing our same university makes us, that common, okay, we are from St. Louis University. So you'll feel more like, okay, we are safe in these hands.
Okay, we luckily got in the plane, and then there was some problem with the snow and this weather condition, but I'm really lucky and happy to be here.
Meanwhile, the Davidson College women's basketball team is just grateful that after a canceled flight Sunday, they were able to get out the next day.
We don't get tired, so I think we're a bit of an anomaly, though, as a group. But yeah, we'll definitely be happy to take off.
And right now we have several overnight flights still coming into Lambert, but luckily officials told me that heading into tomorrow, they're expecting almost a normal day of travel. Reporting live at Lambert Airport, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
Investigators believe a kitchen stove being used to heat a home led to a deadly fire in Pagedale. Firefighters battled the flames in the snowy and icy conditions overnight at a home on 70th Street. A 45-year-old man was found dead in the attic. 2 others had to be rescued. 3 others were able to get out on their own. Tonight, St. Louis police continue to look for the teen who escaped police custody during the height of the winter storm, running away barefoot in the snow. 17-year-old Jaden Arce got away from juvenile officers yesterday morning in the Central West End. He was last seen running into Forest Park. The 17-year-old has been charged as an adult on first-degree robbery charges. If you see him, you're asked to call 911. Public safety officials are sending out a warning during this winter weather. Don't let your guard down. Criminals are using the cold conditions to prey on unsuspecting people. At New at 10, 5 on your side's Brent Solomon reports on 2 crimes of opportunity in just the past 24 hours.
A brand new downtown business, the latest victim of crime. Monday morning, Buddy's Wine Bar sharing on Instagram, workers arrived in the morning only to find their windows busted out. These photos showing the damage with shattered glass littering the floor inside. We first introduced you to the restaurant when it opened in October.
We're at this Renaissance phase.
Owners saying then they were excited to be part of downtown revitalization efforts. Owners already had to delay opening because of the winter weather. Now they say because of this, they'll have to stay closed just a little longer. Just hours earlier,
I'm still trying to process all this.
a seemingly Good Samaritan near Forest Park turning out to be anything but that. A man who asked not to be identified got stuck in the snow here on Kings Highway while picking up someone from work.
I wasn't feeling very hopeful. We were just in the car. We were like, okay, we're probably going to just have this be stranded here.
That's when a man approached.
He comes up to me and he was like, hey, I got this. I've already helped 4 people. This is going to be really, really easy.
He dug him out, only to later demand his car keys.
It did not cross my mind at all that, he was about to pull out a gun.
When it gets cold, then people look for other opportunities to find people with their guards down.
James Clark with the National Urban League's Public Safety Department sees these scenarios routinely.
They will set a scene where they seem to be stuck, and then you pull over to help them, and they'll rob you. Crime and violence does not stop when it gets cold.
Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
And Clark advises against starting your car remotely to warm it up. He says that's a target for thieves. Meantime, Buddy's Wine Bar owners are reviewing camera footage the restaurant will share on social media when they are able to reopen.
Too fast, so furious. The message from police after a close call on the slick highway. Warming your car on a cold morning. Tonight, our Verify team has a warning that may have you pumping the brakes on that wintertime practice.
With the cold air already in place, we're set for another chance of snow by the end of the week. Why this system won't be such a headache for us.
Caught on camera, a close call on an ice and snow-covered highway. The Ohio State Patrol released this dash cam video showing a car driving too fast for the conditions and crashing into a tow truck. That car narrowly missing the driver and the state trooper, and thankfully no one was hurt. Police hoping this will remind drivers to take it easy when those roads are slick. With overnight temperatures dipping into the single digits this week, you may have the urge to start your car for a few minutes in the morning just to warm it up. Tonight, Brandon Lewis from our Verify team looks into the claims that practice could harm your engine.
Nobody enjoys driving in a freezing cold car, so it's understandable that many drivers like to let their cars warm up for a few minutes before hitting the road. Others are concerned about damaging their cars by driving with a cold engine. Some vehicles even have remote start features that make this easier, but one Verify viewer reached out to ask if warming their car could actually damage their engine. So, let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Department of Energy, Firestone Complete Auto Care, Smart Motors Toyota in Madison, Wisconsin, Chuck's Auto Repair in Seattle, and Napa Auto Parts. Gas-powered cars need oil to keep their engines lubricated. Chuck's Auto Repair explains when the engine is cold, gas may not evaporate completely as it combines with the air. This may lead to excess fuel in the chamber, which causes some of it to condense into the cylinder walls and strip away the lubricating oil. Our sources say this leads to more friction, which causes wear and tear and could eventually shorten the life of your engine. Instead, our sources recommend driving about 30 seconds after starting your car because the engine will warm up faster when the car is being driven. In the past, cars needed to warm up for several minutes to avoid stalling because they used a carburetor. Nearly all cars built in the last 30 years now use electronics to ensure engines get the right combination of air and fuel to run no matter what the temperature is outside. So, yes, warming your car could damage the engine. There is one exception. If you drive an electric vehicle, you may want to warm up your car before unplugging it because heating the cabin uses battery power, which can shorten your range. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Skylens 5 was out at Art Hill today, where several kids and kids at heart took part in a St. Louis snow day tradition. They headed down the snowy slope in Forest Park on sleds and inner tubes. Sledding on Art Hill dates back to the 1904 World's Fair.
Yeah, we have a big group of all of our friends, and every time we have good snow, we send out text out there and come over fire and hot cocoa and sledding.
One of the best parks in the whole country. You know, it's this hill and then all the others.
If you're planning to test out Art Hill, be safe. Firefighters were called there this afternoon for reports of sledders ending up in the chilly waters of the basin. However, by the time the first responders arrived, the folks were out of the basin. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joined us now with the weather impact forecast. Scott, you're talking about more snow coming in?
There is a potential for a little more. It's not going to be anything like what we just had, with some of us seeing more than a foot of snow. There's a look out in St. Charles tonight. I-70 looks a lot better tonight than it did last night at this time, as we're looking at least traffic lanes that you can see, pavement that you can see, but not everywhere looks like that. And we still do have some pockets where, you know, especially those on-ramps and exit ramps, they're a little still messy. So MoDOT and IDOT still working on getting those together, and we'll see some improvement there, we think, as we head towards tomorrow morning. But still, we have a ways to go. Hey, listen, there's another weather system coming our way. It's not going to be anything like this last one, but it is going to be a big problem for Arkansas, parts of Oklahoma, as well as portions of Texas. We have a front to our north, but when we look at where this storm center is, it is way farther south than what we just went through, which means for us, there's much less energy available, and also means the deeper moisture all down to our south. So we're just kind of on the fringes of the available moisture, which means we're very limited in our potential for snowfall here. Now, as we do head towards the end of the week, and especially during the day on Friday, there is still about a 36% chance we would see an inch or more of snow. But keep in mind, this last storm, you were close to 100% chance of seeing up to 4 inches of snow, and then it started dropping off. So we don't think it's going to be a huge problem, but it may cause a few problems, especially southeast portions of Missouri, where there might be 3 or 4 inches in a few places, and that's the area hard hit by the ice, and the area that's dealing with power outages now from Perry County back into Reynolds County and down towards Cape Girardeau. So again, something that we will be watching as we head through time. All right, 24 degrees right now. Temperatures being held up because of the clouds. That's a good thing. Dew point's 15. High today was 27. Low was 18. We had 0.07 of an inch. Officially, snowfall for Lambert, snow and sleet was 8.5 inches for this storm. Because the clouds are hanging tough, we're keeping temperatures in the double digits tonight. Back to the west of St. Louis, we will be looking at this point, some areas clearing and going down into the single digits. Tomorrow, temperatures go back into the mid-20s. Here's a look across the East Coast as that system that we dealt with exits. The clouds still hanging tough. Raleigh, you're out of them, but we think the areas just west of that will basically stay clear, and where the cloud is, that back edge is going to stay there as well. So we're basically looking at times of clouds, waves of clouds, if you will, kind of sliding through and across the region as we head through the next couple of days from time to time. Otherwise, as we get clear here on the overnight hours for Thursday night and, well, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, that should be our coldest night, right around 1 in St. Louis, assuming the winds are down and we have the clear sky. And then we get warmer as we head towards the end of the week, Warmer is a relative term, Mike. 33 by Saturday, 36 on Sunday. And yes, probably a little additional snow, but don't think it's going to have much of an impact compared to what we just went through.
Which was a lot. All right, Scott, thanks. Sports is next.
Coming up in sports, Illinois basketball can't be denied. We'll hear from the new star wide receiver at Mizzou, Kevin Coleman, and who really is responsible for the building of the North End project in Columbia. We'll be right back.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Onder Law Injury Attorneys.
I think the team in our area that has the best chance of winning a title is Illinois basketball. This is Brad Underwood's 8th year at Illinois, and he says point blank, this is my best roster. Why not? They're deep, long, and have 2 first-round draft picks. They annihilated Oregon at Oregon Thursday, and yesterday at Washington they had a bad turnover that led to an easy lay-in to tie the game in the final minute. But Kasparis Yakachonis was unfazed. He could be a top 5 pick in the draft. He comes right back, scores the bucket to put the 13th ranked Illini up for good, winning by 4. And the coach was looking past the errors to see the ability of his team to overcome.
Yeah, it's really ridiculous. The inbounds play is real. Just they're in a zone. Just go to the backcourt and get the basketball. Geez, so Pete, I mean, that's resilience after that. We got to stop. We got a loose ball. And then, made some toughness plays that we have to make if you're going to win close games like this.
And you normally win close games like that with great guard play, like what SIUE has. His name is Rayshon Taylor, and the pride of Collinsville is quietly putting together a tremendous career for the Cougars. Today he was named the OVC Player of the Week. Taylor averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals last week in 2 wins over Western Illinois and Lindenwood. Missouri football would like to keep the winning going, and say what you will about Eli Drinkwitz, but the man assembles talent like our news director Morgan does at KSDK. I mean, just think of all the dreaming and scheming and the budget she has to deal with to afford top talent like Mike, Kelly, and Scott. Mizzou's portal class is ranked 9th in the country, and here's one of the gems. Kevin Coleman, the pride of St. Mary's High School, had a breakout year at Mississippi State. 74 catches, over 900 yards. After they played Mizzou, Tigers running back Jamal Roberts, a former St. Mary's teammate, planted the seed to Kevin to come home. Drink closed the deal, and the senior wide receiver told me his lofty goals this morning.
I always say my thing is win a day. So I'm thinking about one day at a time. Right now, I'm just thinking about college football. I'm trying to go be a guy that's in the Heisman talk. I'm trying to go be a guy that win the Blendikoff. So right now I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm trying to dominate college football. I feel like once I dominate college football, the NFL thing's that stuff's gonna come.
Another goal for Mizzou is the North End project. It's going to make Memorial Stadium really cool. It's a $250 million endeavor that has been approved, and it will be completed for the 2026 season, the 100th anniversary of Memorial Stadium. And recently, Coach Drink said that players like Brady Cook made it possible. I asked Brady about that last night.
It comes back to the group of leaders that came back after the 22 season and chose to come back for that 23 season and put it all together. Darius Robinson, Javon Foster, Tyron Hopper, Cody Schrader, all of those guys. And what we did in 23 carried over, and that culture was sustained.
Late in last night's Lions-Vikings game, Cardinal Ritter's Jamison Williams was still 3 yards short of 1,000 for the season. But on their final possession, he got loose for a 15-yard gain, but the block that sprung him was actually interference. No problem. 2 plays later, Williams gets it again and rolls to a 4-yard gain and a first down and 1,001 yards. Congratulations to Jamison. And that will do it in sports. I'm Frank Cusimano.
Well, many of us are trying to survive this Arctic blast. How our winter wonderland is making one St. Louis transplant feel like their home sweet home. St. Louis Zoo was closed today. However, Callie the polar bear was out enjoying the Arctic weather. She took a bath in the freshly fallen snow. And by the way, the zoo has a live feed of Callie enjoying her snowy habitat on its YouTube page. And Gordy in Fenton is enjoying his first winter in St. Louis, and he's already a fan of the snow. Don't forget to send us your weather pics and videos to 314-425-5355, and make sure you share your name and location. And Scott has the final check of our weather impact.
Yeah, going to stay cold for the next few days, but the chances of snow pretty much just on Friday, and it looks like it's a low amount. So not a big deal, especially when you compare it with this. What is a big deal? Cold temperatures. Tonight, we're staying in the teens. Tomorrow, we'll be in the 20s. Tomorrow night and on Wednesday night, going into Thursday morning, that's when we look at some single digits as the clouds try to break up across the area.
One we see there. There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That begins at 4 a.m. And have a great and safe tomorrow.